Imagine being told your soulmate isn't someone you choose. It's someone you're destined to have a child with, and that child is supposed to save the world. Yeah, no pressure, right? That's the crazy setup behind Twin Star Exorcists, an anime packed with demon battles, emotional backstories, awkward romance, and some seriously underrated hype moments. Let's talk about it. Twin Star Exorcists isn't just another Exorcist anime. It's a story packed with destiny, trauma, friendships, betrayals, and one of the most entertaining love-hate relationships in shonen. And today, we're going deep into why this anime deserves way more love. Before we dive into the story, let's meet our two leads, Rokuro and Benio. Two exorcists with huge potential, bigger baggage, and personalities that couldn't be more different. The main characters, Rokuro and Benio, do not start off as friends. Their first meeting? Yeah, it's chaos. Benio is serious, disciplined, and all about becoming the strongest exorcist. Rokuro has the skill to be incredible, but a heartbreaking event from his past pushed him to abandon the exorcist life. So when they collide, literally, sparks fly, and not the romantic kind. They argue. They fight. They judge each other hard. But then, everything changes. At first, Rokuro and Benio have no clue what's about to hit them. They get summoned by the head exorcist, and they don't know what to expect. The moment they walk in, everything changes. This isn't a friendly chat or a test. Nope, it's a full-on announcement. After years of searching, the prophecy has finally picked its candidates. And boom! Rokuro Enmadu and Benio Adashino are named the Twin Star Exorcists. Just like that. No warning. A title that flips their worlds upside down. And then, if that wasn't enough, comes the kicker. Their job isn't just to fight tough enemies. They have to fight together, grow together, and one day, marry to bring the Miko into the world. A person who will be powerful enough to end the war with the Kagara. You can feel the tension immediately. Rokuro protests, Benio's glaring, and neither of them is buying it. But the head exorcist? Nope. Destiny has spoken, and there's no opting out. So Rokuro and Benio just found out they're the Twin Star Exorcists, and if they thought that was intense, it's only getting started. The Exorcist leadership doesn't give them a break. Suddenly, they're being shoved into missions together, whether they like it or not. At first, it's rough. Benio's all serious, disciplined, and laser-focused on being the strongest, while Rokuro is still trying to run from his past and avoid the whole exorcist life. They clash constantly, arguments, eye rolls, and yes, a lot of "why am I stuck with you" moments. But the missions don't wait for them to figure it out. They're forced into situations where survival depends on teamwork. One can't cover the other, one can't fight alone, and every failure puts both of them in danger. Slowly, through close calls, shared battles, and moments where one literally has to save the other, they start figuring each other out. Even though they're reluctant partners, they slowly start to see each other differently. Seeing Benio's determination, strength, and refusal to give up despite everything inspires Rokuro to become an exorcist again. Her courage makes him realize that he can't hide from his past forever, and that he still has the power to protect people. Rokuro supports Benio through the stress and expectations she carries, helping her remember that she's not alone in the fight. They argue, they laugh, they grow, and that messy, imperfect journey is what makes them so fun to watch. Mayura is a character a lot of people sleep on, but honestly, her story adds a ton of depth to the series. She grew up with Rokuro and has always been there to support him, watching over him and cheering him on. But then Benio shows up, talented, confident, and clearly meant to be by Roku's side, and Mayura can't help but feel a little left behind. One day, she's just walking home with Rokuro when suddenly, a Basara named Yuto ambushes her. Using Kagare corruption, he twists her spiritual energy, turning her into a demon like Basara. Mayura loses control, becoming a real threat, and even Rokuro struggles to reach her. But he doesn't hesitate, and neither does Benio. Together, they combine their skills, instincts, and resonance to fight the corruption rather than Mayura herself. Through teamwork, determination, and trust, they purify the Kagare, breaking Yuto's hold and bringing her back. This moment hits hard. Rokuro is devastated. Benio is shaken. But this isn't a tragedy story. It's a turning point. Instead of breaking, Mayura decides, I'm going to become an exorcist too. Her arc shows that even people who feel overshadowed or insecure can rise, and that's one of the messages that makes the anime special. Now we get to Yuto, who grew up alongside Roku in the Hinatsuki dorm, and is also Benio's brother. He's one of the most important characters in the series. He's not just a villain. He's the wound that ties everything together. Yuto and Rokuro weren't just dorm buddies. They basically grew up like brothers. The Hinatsuki dorm wasn't just a home. It was a place where exorcist orphans and gifted children lived together, trained together, and shared their daily lives. Roku was loud, cheerful, and full of dreams. Yuto was quiet, polite, talented, and honestly, he seemed like the perfect kid. To Roku, Yuto was someone to look up to. They ate together, trained together, spent the day with the other kids in the dorm like a big family. But beneath Yuto's calm, innocent smile, something was horribly wrong. One night, Yuto revealed who he really was, a prodigy obsessed with power, evolution, and testing the limits between humans and Kagare. He didn't see the other children as friends. He saw them as experiments. Yuto unleashed Kagare power inside the dorm, triggering a massacre that wiped out nearly everyone. Kids they laughed with, kids they trained with, kids they considered family. Roku survived, but only because Yuto wanted him alive. That single night destroyed Roku's childhood. It shattered his identity. It filled him with guilt so heavy he quit being an exorcist entirely. The betrayal works because Roku wasn't hurt by an enemy. He was hurt by the person he trusted most. Yuto wasn't some distant villain. He was the brother figure who slept under the same roof. The person Roku looked up to. The one he admired. And when Yuto reappears later in the series, it's not just a villain returning. It's Roku's childhood nightmare walking back into his life. And for Benio, it's even worse. Yuto is her brother. Her entire life, she believed he died a hero. Instead, she learns he's the one responsible for everything. Twin Star Exorcists has a lot of big moments. Huge fights, high stakes, but one of the most emotional stories in the series is actually a quiet one. It's Sai's. When Benio and Roku find her in Magano, something feels off right away. Not because she's dangerous, but because she isn't scared. She's a child, standing in one of the most terrifying places imaginable, and she's calm, almost peaceful. At the time, they don't question it. They take her with them. They make sure she's safe. They feed her. They stay close. And slowly, without realizing it, Benio and Roku stop seeing Sai as someone they're just protecting. They start treating her like family. Sai follows them everywhere. She laughs easily. She trusts them completely. And the more time they spend together, the more attached they become. That's what makes the truth hit so hard. Sai wasn't a lost child. She was a branch of the great tree, a piece of Magano itself, given form. She was never meant to leave. So when the time comes, there's no big battle to save her. No way around it. Sai has to return. Benio and Roku can only watch as someone they cared about goes back to a world they can't follow her into. Sai doesn't cry. She isn't afraid. Because deep down, this was always where she belonged. And that's why her story hurts. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was inevitable.